Hello, Startup Vision. I am Cyrille Bessière, and I'm very proud to be here. Hello, Florence.
Hello, Cyrille. So you're the co-founder of Eutopia, which is an early stage venture fund investing in consumer startups, which actively contribute to build a better world while having a scalable business model. So in fact, you want to bridge private equity and impact fund, we can say. And very often there is a sense of good things don't make money. How do you make these work, both work?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. That's definitely the core, I would say the base of Eutopia from the beginning. So together with my three co-partners who are based in Europe, while I'm based in New York. I'm based in New York. We convinced that we have to change many things in the way we do business and also in the way we invest in companies, us as investors. And we think that opposing the traditional, let's say, investing world, private equity or VC world, which is like, let's say, return oriented, and the impact investing is something that is like very much of the old world. And we think that investors have to play an active role in, investing in companies that do good, so better for you, better for the society, and better for the planet, which is like pretty much the three pillars of what we want to do. So you have different ways to do it. It's mainly two ways. The first way is just to invest, to be like more careful on the companies, the brands, and the products you invested in, because we are a consumer investor, so we don't deal with tech or B2B. We definitely deal with a product or a service. So when it comes to like investing in a company that has a product, one way to play an active role in being, active in this more, let's say, do good type of world. One way is to also select the products towards something cleaner, something more sustainable, less packaging, shorter supply chain, for instance. So there's definitely something around that, and I'll be happy to develop the idea down the road with you. Another way is to also find something, let's say, a little bit different and like new business models, new ways to do business. And we have a few examples also of portfolio companies that do that. One of them, for instance, is called Murphy. It's a company based in France. And what they do is, so they are in the home appliances, market. So like fridges, washers, dryers, that kind of like heavy, appliances. What they do is they come to you to fix it. And if they don't manage to fix it, then you have access to their platform of, rebuilt and renovated appliances. So if you buy from them, you're not adding to the number of appliances you have on the market. You are basically buying something to reuse it. So it's a new way to approach. I think our role as an investor is also to go towards business models and companies that think differently the way we should do business.
Yeah, and as you said, Utopia's mantra for investing is better for you, better for the community, and better for the planet, as you said. So how do you select the startups you're going to fund or help develop? And can we go into more details?
Yeah, well, coming back to your original view on that, I think it's fairly true that we want to bridge the traditional VC private equity world, which is like return oriented, and definitely it's one of the big components. We're not like an impact investor, and our LPs, our investors, many of them are, let's say, institutional investors or family offices. They want to have a return on their investment, and also bridging with, something more impactful and sustainable. Definitely, like a good way to do that is just to say you have to check both KPIs and both metrics to make sure that you go the right way. So not only do you check the more standard KPIs, like how big is the market, can you disrupt it, what are the unit economics of this specific product, and what's the let's say the potential for this brand, but you would also assess the product, the way the business model works in a way which is like more towards better for you, better for the society, and better for the planet. So I think it's both sides. Having said that, we have evolved from our fund one, which was more like in a family office mode, to Eutopia, which is like definitely our fund as an independent team. We wanted to go one step forward with Eutopia, and right now with Eutopia, it's a deal breaker right now to have just like a super great investment with great return, great perspectives, but nothing on the sustainability do good aspect. It was not a deal breaker before, but we really figured as co-partners and founders of Eutopia that we needed to be more active, to play like a more active role in the investment world. And right now, we really committed to invest in brands, companies, and founders that really want to revolutionize the way we eat, the way we treat ourselves, and the way we entertain ourselves.
And you were always looking, if we go on the personal side, you were always looking, as you say, for the perfect balance between thinking and doing. And you had a very diversified career. You were in consulting with BCG, then successfully launched the tea brand Palais d'Eté in the US. Yeah. And did you find the perfect balance in becoming a VC?
Yeah, I did it. I did it. I'm very, very excited, by my new role. I think it's a great balance. I mean, as you said, you have different ways to approach your career and your step, and your job. I think it took me about 10 years, maybe it's long, I don't know, to realize that I needed to have this balance between thinking and doing. So BCG in the consulting world was like 100% thinking, let's say, and Palais d'Eté was like maybe 5% thinking. At the time of the year, you do your budget and you think about it, but 95% was actually operations. So right now I'm super happy because my role is a bit different from other investors. I typically do investment, but also operations. And my job is, the core of the job that I do every day is to do my best to take a few of our European brands and bring them to the US. So I did it with Mercy Handy, for instance, in the beauty space, with Harry & Co, which is a France-based, a plant-based burger company. So I do that like on a regular basis for the companies that we think have a potential in the US. It means very concrete things like finding a 3PL, like a warehouse, negotiating deals with distributors, onboarding the first staff members. So it's something which is very, very operational. And on top of that, I'm also very, very happy because I discovered, that was something new for me like 2.5 years ago when I joined the team. I also discovered the investment world. And when you discover the investment world, it's a lot of thinking. You think about new ways to do business. I mean, a very good example, I spent a decent amount of time let's say with my co-partners before investing in a company called Nous Anti-Gaspi, which is like in English, us anti-waste. So it's a new generation of grocery chains. So take Kroger or take, let's say Balducci's. But what they do is they really take on and buy themselves and offer on the shelves products that are meant to be destroyed or to go to landfill. And they really want to, do something out of it. And it's something that at the end of the day, it's very challenging business model. You have to think about the retail expansion, the metrics, the number of suppliers and the types of suppliers that would sustain the growth in the long term. So it's a lot of like thinking. And I think my background as both BCG plus Palais d'Eté gives me some good, insights hopefully you should ask those guys to define whether they're going in the right directions, whether there's something to be done with the branding, with the marketing, with the operations. So I mean, to answer the question, I think it's a great job, and I strongly encourage people to consider, operating partners in the VC world as a great next step.
Cyrille, we see your passion for it. You really love it, and it's great to hear that. Really, put it through the video. So, Eutopia very recently raised 100 million euros. So, what are the plans now for the future?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's the beginning of the story. We invested like roughly 25% of the fund through, intermediary closings before we reached to the 100 million. So of course, the core of the job will be to invest, find the right founders, the right projects, the most exciting sustainable but also growth-oriented projects to fund. And I think this one is super exciting, and it's going to be like part of my job over the past few years. And then as a next step, as an investment team, we're thinking about different ways to do it. But definitely, we think that there is a huge potential, not only in Europe, not only in France, which is like the core of Eutopia right now, with about 60% of the investments to be made by Eutopia will be in France. But we think there's also much to be done in Europe, much to be done in the US. So one avenue could be to also raise another fund to focus on other markets, like more international markets. This is one avenue for sure. And then another way would be also to consider, for instance, like a later stage fund, like fund to invest in later stage companies. The reason is the fact that we definitely observe that there is a lack of financing for startups, for like, big SME, like let's say middle-sized to big SMEs companies in Europe. So we also think that we could have a role to play in that field. There's many different options on the table. There's one thing that we will never change our minds on, which is the fact that we need to be very active and being this new generation of investors bridging the traditional VC and the do good and sustainability aspect. We really want to stick to it. We think it's not like an opportunistic approach. It's deeply what we think, and it's something that we continue to do so.
Yeah, that's great. That's really a very good business model, in fact. Thank you so much, Cyrille, for sharing.
Thank you, Florence,
and all your views on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Florence.